All right, let's just jump right in because this is a big one. It's a question that really gets to the core of how our brains are wired. Why is it that super smart, super capable people sometimes make just bafflingly dumb decisions?
You've probably seen this happen, right? Maybe with a boss, a friend, or let's be honest, maybe you've even caught yourself doing it. You make the same mistake over and over, and you're thinking, I should know better. It's super frustrating. But guess what? There's a real scientific reason behind it.
So, we're talking about what you could call the smart person's paradox. It's this weird thing where the exact same brain that can figure out complex problems can also totally trip us up on what seems like a simple, everyday choice. And the key to unlocking this whole paradox, it's something that's totally invisible, completely silent, but man, is it powerful.
And here it is. The answer is cognitive biases. The best way to think about them, imagine they're like these hidden little computer programs running in the background of your mind. You don't even know they're there, but they're constantly shaping how you see the world.
All right, so let's get into it. Your brain's hidden shortcuts. What are these things really? If we're going to understand just how powerful they are, we've got to get a handle on what they are and, just as important, why our brain bothers using them at all.
Okay, so here's the official definition. A cognitive bias is a recurring unconscious error in thinking that influences how we perceive reality, make decisions, and interpret situations. But the most important word in that whole sentence is unconscious. It's a glitch in our thinking that just happens automatically. So this has absolutely nothing to do with how smart you are. It's all about your brain trying to be efficient. I mean, think about it. Your brain is getting hit with a fire hose of information every single second. To deal with all that, it creates these little mental shortcuts. The fancy term is heuristics, just to make decisions faster. They're basically a survival tool. But here's the catch. They often sacrifice accuracy for speed, and that's where you get these distortions and snap judgments.
And this is really the mind-blowing part. These biases operate completely, 100% unconsciously. Seriously, you could have a PhD in this stuff and you'd still fall for them, because they are literally baked into the wiring of our brains. Just getting your head around that is the first giant step to thinking more clearly.
Okay, so let's take a look at biases in the wild, because theory is one thing, right? But when you actually see these things happening in real life, that's when the light bulb really goes on. So let's walk through a super common example. Just picture it. You're at some event, you meet someone new. They look great, really well dressed, and man, they're so charismatic. Instantly, before you even have a chance to think about it, your brain just leaps to a bunch of conclusions. You find yourself automatically assuming they must also be amazing at their job, super kind, totally trustworthy. Your brain just fills in all the blanks for you. And boom. That right there, that's the halo effect. That one single positive thing, their charisma, puts this kind of halo over them, and it colors your entire perception. This is exactly why we sometimes hire the smooth talker instead of the quiet genius, or why we might miss some major red flags in a new relationship. And look, the halo effect, that's just one of many. It's barely scratching the surface. Our minds are just loaded with these things. Like, you've got confirmation bias, where we actively look for info that proves what we already believe. Then there's the negativity bias, which is why a single piece of negative feedback can totally wipe out 100 compliments. Or how about the availability heuristic? That's why we're more scared of easily imagined things, like a plane crash, than way more common dangers, like getting in a car wreck. And then there's the fundamental attribution error. That's when we blame someone else's mistake on their character, but when we mess up, oh, it's because of the situation. The list just goes on and on. Okay, so now we get to the practical part. Tools for clearer thinking. If our brains are literally hardwired for this stuff, are we just stuck, doomed to keep making the same mistakes? Nope, not at all. Look, the goal here isn't to get rid of your biases. That's impossible. The real goal is to learn how to manage them. So let's look at a few tools that can help. So here's a pretty straightforward 5-step toolkit you can use to start building that awareness. Step 1 is simple. Just pause before reacting. Step 2, challenge your beliefs. We'll get into that. Step 3 is to write down your thoughts, which can be surprisingly powerful. 4 is all about practicing detached observation. And number 5, probably the most important, is to just keep educating yourself. Okay, so let's dig into what a few of these actually look like in the real world.
So that first one, pausing, is maybe the simplest but also the most powerful. Our brains love to react fast, right? Especially with emotions. So the next time you feel that flash of anger or you feel yourself judging someone, just stop for like 3 seconds. And in that pause, ask yourself this question. Am I responding to what's actually happening right now? Or am I just reacting to a feeling? Seriously, that tiny little gap can be enough to yank you out of autopilot and back into conscious thought.
Okay, strategy number 2, challenge your beliefs. This one is like a direct assault on confirmation bias. Here's what you do. Pick a belief you feel really strongly about. Then, maybe once a week, you deliberately go out and find a smart, well-argued opinion that is the complete opposite. Now, the point here isn't to get in an argument or even to change your mind. It's just to understand the other perspective. And this ties right into that third tool, writing things down. If you journal about this, you'll be amazed at what you discover about how strong your own biases are. And then there's strategy number 4, practicing detached observation. This is a game changer. It's about realizing that you are not your thoughts. So when some biased or judgy thought just pops into your head, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to act on it. You can just watch it. Kind of like you're a scientist looking at data. You can just go, interesting. My brain just served up a judgmental thought. And this whole thing gets easier with that 5th tool. Just keep educating yourself. The more you learn about these biases, the easier it is to catch them. Which brings us to our final section, from bias to awareness. This is really about a fundamental shift in how you think about, well, how you think. It's all about changing the relationship you have with your own mind. And this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. These cognitive biases, they are not your enemy. They aren't a personal flaw or a sign that your brain is broken. They're a feature, not a bug. They're part of an ancient survival system that was designed for a world that was, way simpler and a lot more dangerous than the one we're navigating today. I love this idea. Sometimes I think in distorted ways, and that's okay, as long as I recognize it. That quote just perfectly sums up the whole goal. It's not about beating yourself up. It's about self-awareness. Just admitting, yeah, sometimes my thinking gets a little warped, is the most powerful thing you can do, as long as you can catch it when it happens.
Because at the end of the day, you can't just delete these biases. They're not some app you can uninstall. They're part of your operating system. They are here to stay. But, and this is a big but, you can absolutely get better at noticing them. And in that split second when you recognize one, you can pause, take a breath, and consciously choose a better, wiser way forward.
So I want to leave you with one last question to carry with you, a really powerful one. The next time you have a strong gut feeling about a person or a situation, just ask yourself this. Was that intuition or was that a hidden bias? Is that a genuine insight born from experience, or is it just one of those old, hidden shortcuts whispering in your ear? Learning to tell the difference? Well, that's the whole game.